welcome everyone to Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, where we are your resource and connection and education and collaborations to support you on your wellness journey. And I want to start by thanking our sponsors, Dr. Rani Thanacoody, White Sands Premier Travel, Vibe, and BAM Metrics, because without these sponsored appearances, Mindful Mondays just would not be possible. So to jump into today's episode, I'm super excited. Dr. Rani Thanacoody, she is a visionary founder of AmazingYou, and with expertise ranging from clinical hypnotherapy to relationship coaching. Dr. Rani has dedicated to empowering individuals through holistic wellness. And I want to thank you, Dr. Rani, for joining us today.
Hi, Laura, and hi to your audience. I am super excited to be with all of you, and thank you, Laura, for the invitation, and a huge thank you for the work that you are doing for the world, for having the TV show. And I love at the beginning that you had these beautiful sayings, and thank you for the great work. Thank you to be here. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the work you are doing as well. You have so many different modalities and stuff. How did you begin your journey into holistic wellness, and what inspired you to create AmazingYou?
Thank you, and thank you for the question, Laura. That's a really interesting question, a very important question, because I would say it's it's been the past 4 years. I would say the past 5 years when I had to resign from my previous job, and I was going through serious bullying in the workplace, and uh, and this has been something that has repeated in my life for the for my throughout my whole career. And when I left that job, there was no other way than to leave the UK, pack my stuff, and go back to my country. I am originally from Mauritius. So I went back home, which is a 12-hour flight, and not knowing what to do anymore. And that made me start to think. When I went home, I started to pray, to look inside of me, because I say, this must be something that is inside of me that I'm carrying, that is creating those kind of issues. And I say, I need to find out. And then something inside me, that voice of God was telling me, you have to go back to the UK. And I was telling myself, after all these issues going back, that voice was so strong. Yes, I have to go back. And I started applying for jobs, and I got a job back, which is my current job that I've been already 6 years in the same job. I've never used to be in the job for 6 years. I used to move from one job to another throughout my whole career, Laura. And this was very hard because not only I moved job, but I moved house. I had to relocate because within the UK, otherwise I would have to travel too much. And when I came back to the UK, I realized there's something more than just teaching. I need to find out the root cause of the pattern of bullying that I've been experiencing. And I said, I'm not going to university. I had enough. I've done a PhD, so much studying, no more theories. I need something that would really help me to discover what is happening inside of me creating those issues. And one day I was scrolling just before the pandemic hit. Oh, it was no, it was at the beginning of the pandemic. Sorry. When the pandemic hit, I was scrolling on my mobile, looking on Instagram, Facebook, and I saw a lady called Marissa Peer. She's a very well known hypnotherapist in the States and in the UK, and she has a hypnotherapy school. And I've never seen her in my life. That was the first time she appeared. And as soon as I saw her, I said, this is what I want to do. I don't know more than that, but I want to learn. And trained as a therapist, as a hypnotherapist first. Then I trained as a clinical hypnotherapist with her, because doing that course, that certification has helped me to understand the root cause of my issue. And the root cause of my issue is much deeper to my younger years, Laura. You won't believe it. It goes far, 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 far away to when I was a little girl, when I experienced so much trauma. I experienced sexual abuse. I experienced bullying by school teachers. And the biggest thing that I experienced at 4 years old was the death of my grandmother. And since she left me, I never processed that grief. I never processed that pain. And soon after her death, I was sexually abused at kindergarten because I didn't know how to process those emotions. It's stuck inside of me. And the people around me couldn't understand. Our family do their best. And it's not easy to understand how little children are feeling inside. And I kept it all inside and I numbed myself, Laura, for more than 40 years. I numbed my feelings. That's what I mean. I didn't express my emotions. I kept everything inside. And that was my way of coping with life, of surviving, because I didn't know how to cope with my emotions after the loss of my grandmother. That was a huge tragedy in my life. But I couldn't express that. I saw everything at 4 years old, but nobody took the time to ask little children, what are you experiencing at that time and what is going on? Nobody to comfort me. And I was just watching everything I remember so well, but I had to keep it inside. And only in those sessions of hypnotherapy, oh my God, Laura, I cried like I've never cried my whole life. I cried for 3 years, every session I was going in the hypnotherapy sessions. And it was really deep inside. So I can now understand how much emotions I have suppressed. 40 years of emotions, anger, pain, grief, everything that you can think of was suppressed inside of me. And as I was growing up as a child, experienced a lot of sicknesses, throat ache, I couldn't talk properly. I was having always flu. I had surgery, throat surgery. It's like my body was always telling me, our body is so smart. Our body will always tell us a story, what is going on with us. But as a child, I knew and I would listen, but people around me would tell me, don't listen to your body, otherwise it will keep coming up with things. So, but I always used to listen to my body. And doing those hypnotherapy sessions have been life changing, Laura. I have healed from the irritable bowel syndrome that I experienced for years because of suppressing of all the emotions. And also, I feel more happy within myself. I have done things I've never done in my life, like being on your TV show. It's like things I wouldn't do before. But hypnotherapy has helped me to build my self-esteem, not only my confidence, but the self-esteem of who I am, of how love I am, that I am enough. All of us, we experience that, whether we have had small traumas or big traumas as children, we all experience traumas in some way. And the way that we cope is we come up with coping mechanisms and we tell ourselves stories that we are not enough, that love is not available to me. That another thing we say to ourselves is we can't connect with each other. We feel so disconnected. And that's what happened to me, Laura. I felt a complete disconnection with myself since my grandmother passed away because I started to believe in what everybody else was telling me. And I stopped listening to myself because I had to survive. So to cope with everybody around me, and I lost myself in that process. And I would say this has been the biggest disconnection that I had, but healing has helped me to build that connection with myself again and building connection with people everywhere around the world, with my family, better relationships. It has been a life changing thing for me having doing the hypnotherapy. Yeah.
Wow. There's just so much to unpack in there. I mean, for one, you left the UK for being bullying and went back to your own country, which is a huge move. It's not like you're just moving down the road or to another state. That's quite the move. And but yet you were told or felt that you needed to go back to the UK. That had to be incredibly difficult, I would think.
Yes, it was difficult because I was at a stage that I felt completely lost. And people around me would tell me, "Stay, why are you going? You know, you've experienced so much, so stay with us." It's their way of protecting me, and I appreciate that. It's the care that they had for me. But it was very hard to come back because I had to reshape everything again, find a new home again. Oh my God, it was a lot, but I am grateful that God gave me that courage to do that again because I am so happy to have made that step in that unknown territory. And because it's only in our discomfort that we find the happiness. And I am so glad I did that again to come back to the UK, and my life has changed completely. It has changed in a positive way, and now I have written four. I have co-authored four books. It's like it's incredible the things that have happened to me, and yes, it's not easy to do, but I would tell people that face your fears, go into the unknown, because it's only when you go into the unknown that the doors will start to open and you will find opportunities that you never dreamed of. So do not hesitate. Take that step, move forward. Yeah.
Well, and that is definitely facing your fears, because I know me as one. My thing was normally to just, it was easier for me to just cut ties and move on, but was never really dealing with things. And like you said, that when you don't deal with things, it gets trapped in your body and it shows through different ways. But yeah, the fact that somebody told you not to listen to your body, I'm like, I think we should listen to our bodies more. It's normally the outside outside noises and people that we shouldn't listen to. Some people may have the best intentions, some don't. But like you said, your body was basically screaming at you through different things, trying to tell you that something was wrong. So,
I
but
am so glad now, Laura, because now I pay attention to my body, and I really do listen because the body will tell us so many things. And the more we listen to our body, the more we are able to heal ourselves. You know, we are the greatest healers, I've realized. And just to share with you an experience I have been doing a lot of modalities, astrology, healing, compassion session, and I'm still working on myself every day. But you know, as we peel the layers, there are other layers to peel, to keep peeling. You know, there's always another layer to heal and to grow. And recently, I was having a lot of pain under my feet. I've been to the doctors. And I just wanted to find out what the doctor will tell me. I've been to my chiropractor, and then I realized no, none of these could heal me. I have to sit with myself and I have to find out. I've tried so many exercises on YouTube, you won't believe it. And I'm glad, each exercise did a little bit, but then I realized I need to find out. And one day, last week, I take one day off work. I say I'm going to give that day to myself. There is so much going on around me. I told you as well, how things were last week, and I took that one day to be with myself and really to take the time for my body. And I found out it was just a simple way that I should put my feet during my sleep, and I should take a special supplement. And since then, the pain under my feet is almost gone. Today I walk and I didn't feel any pain. So I realized just taking that time, connect to that body of ours, that temple of ours, that hold all the treasures to our healing. And that's where the miracle happened. That's what I will tell people. Always listen to your body and listen, it has something to tell you. because you can heal yourself. You are the greatest healer. I was reading a book by Deborah King, and her book is called You Are the Shaman, and we are the shaman, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody says that, like Gabor Mate, very well known uh, medical practitioner, he talks about when there's a very well known book he's written, it's When the Body Says No. And Bessel van der Kolk, another very well known doctor, is another of his book is called When the Body Keeps the Score. You know, whatever emotions we suppress, the body will remember that. It will stay stuck in the cell of our body until we are ready to take time and let it go and release it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really quite incredible. And I'm glad that you took that day and took that time to do it, because we all are guilty of getting so caught up in one rat race or another that we put that last. And that's why I always tell people self-care, mindfulness, you've got to do that and take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're not really good to yourself or anyone else. So,
That is so true, Laura. That is so true. Yes.
yeah.
I think self-care, it's about really it's not only going to do massage, but it's really listening to our body, giving ourselves the time, going for a walk, connecting with nature. I've been since the past few months, but I've been doing that for 4 years. Every day I would go out for a walk in nature, and the connection with nature has helped me to build a connection with myself. It's like, because we are made of the five elements: air, water, fire, everything is in us. And connecting with Mother Nature is it's like connecting to our mother, to our it's bringing that connection back to where we came from. And that is this has been so healing for me. It's like has helped me to deal with all sort of craziness going on around. Things get crazy, around us, but it helps us to ground ourselves back.
Yes, they do. That seems to be a constant. And sometimes we can't always control it, and we need to recognize when we can control things and when we can't, and when you can't, let them go. So, what inspired you then? Because you're the founder of Amazing You, and you have Amazing You YouTube. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that and why you created that?
Yes, I call it Amazing You because everybody is amazing, everybody is great, and all the treasures are within us. And I've got a quote that says, "You are the treasure that you are seeking." I love Rumi, very well known Persian poet, and from his reading, I came up with that. After doing all the work, I realized everything is within us. We hold the keys to all our treasures. And why I create so that's why I call it Amazing You, because every one of person that we meet is amazing. And I created the podcast. I've got a podcast called Amazing You, and that was inspired from one person in my life who was going through some very tough times at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was on a course with a very well known Les Brown. I was one of his students. I was mentored by him at that time. And he was saying, all of us, the students, 187, people need to hear your voices. That's why you came on the course, on my course. I say, okay. I say, I was just inspired by his teaching, by how he was speaking. That's why I joined. And then I listened to him week by week. And when that person in my life was going through some tough time, I say, I can maybe help that person because everybody is letting that person down. So I pick up the phone, call that person back home every Saturday, and give her hope because she left her job. People around her asked her to leave her job. So she left the job, was sitting at home feeling depressed, and nobody was supporting her and getting sick. And I say, no, I need to help her. She can get out of this. Otherwise, it will get worse. I know what will happen. So I spoke to her, Laura, every Saturday for a month, telling her, talking to her, encouraging her. And she did listen. She started taking her life back in her hands. I say, nobody can do this because this is your life. If you let people take control of you, they will do what they want, and you will not be able to live the life that you want. So she realized that she needed to do something for herself. She found a job. She took the courage, started applying for jobs, got a job, and now she's working. She's doing her things. She's all right. And she inspired me to do that. And I had no idea, Laura, how to start a podcast or a YouTube channel. And I asked one of my students, how do you even upload a video? I tell you, I didn't know. I teach at university. We are not taught anything like that. I teach human resource management. So this is not my area to do podcasts, but I wanted to try something different to help other people. And then I have a friend in Sri Lanka. She's an entrepreneur. She used to sell antiques at that time. And I said, would you mind being my first guest? I don't know. I didn't know where to start. And she said, yes. I said, because I wanted to help people to get
Mhm.
known for what they do so that people know what other people are doing. Because so many women, so many men, we do things, but not everybody knows what is it that we do. So she agreed, and she was my first guest. And I'm very grateful to my friend Janique, and if she's listening today and watching. And she agreed, and she had a huge audience, 178 viewers for the first video on YouTube, and I'm very grateful to her. And since then, the podcast has been aired for the past 3 years, the YouTube channel as well, and everybody can go and listen. It's called Amazing You, like Laura just put it on the bottom, Amazing You YouTube by Dr. Rani. So please go and listen. There are a lot of materials you can learn from. Great speakers like Marisa Peer, Dr. John Gray, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and a lot of great, great speakers. So yeah, that's the journey of Amazing You, how it started, Laura. Yeah.
And that's incredible. See, and I'm finding more and more of us that are doing it. And I think it's so important because I think we need more communities and connections like that. I know we have a lot more to cover, especially like some of your pivotal moments of what started you into your entrepreneurship and how you integrate your different modalities. But we're going to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors, and we're going to be right back.
All right.
Hi, I'm Bobby Aldridge with BAM Metrics. There are so many programs out there that measure your swing speed, sets, reps, your BMI, your body fat, but the one thing they're not measuring that's so essential is mobility. Mobility is the key. If you're measuring your mobility, your performance will get better and you will reduce your pain. I created BAM Metrics to make it easy for people to repeat the exercises so they could do it properly at home on their own. It's simple, it's easy to do, and from a senior to a pro athlete.
Relief for PTSD, anxiety, pain, insomnia, and many other ailments. Introducing Vibe, the world's only pocket PEMF device. You place it in your pocket while cooking, cleaning, relaxing, watching TV, sitting at your computer, reading, or walking. Self-contained standalone device. No drugs. No other phone or Bluetooth connections required. No monthly subscription fees. No apps to download. No Bozone. The future of medicine is in the frequencies. Come join the revolution.
So, Dr. Rani, you've mentioned working at the university and stuff, and I believe you still work there, but you're also an entrepreneur. So, what pivotal moments would you say shaped your journey into being an entrepreneur and a healer?
Yes, thank you, Laura. I think when I look back, my family has always been entrepreneurs. My great grandfather on both sides were entrepreneurs. They had their own bakery and restaurant. My dad has his own school. So I think this has been in the family. This has been running in the family. And I realized that what pivotal moments is when I started to heal myself. I realized the past few years, doing several modalities, I realized that I would love to help other people. That's the reason wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted the freedom. I want the freedom as well, but my main aim is to help people to realize that they can heal, they can heal themselves, that the body has the power. And I want them to experience all these modalities, because as we go within, we can heal everything inside, because we are just a reflection of what is happening inside of us. Whoever we meet as well, whoever we attract in our life, is a reflection of what is happening inside of us. So the more we heal ourselves, I believe, the more we feel happier. And I want other women to feel happier, to stop repeating those patterns, because so many of us have patterns that we repeat. I was repeating the pattern of bullying. Some of my clients, I notice, they repeat the pattern of being in toxic relationships. So we can stop that by starting to work with ourselves, heal ourselves, and go inside. And that's the main reason I became an entrepreneur, because I wanted to help people to know that healing is possible, thriving is possible, having a happy life again is possible. You don't need to suffer to stay in pain. You can live an abundant life and achieve all your dreams, because as you heal yourself, you develop so many powers, Laura. You develop the powers of telepathy, you develop greater intuition, so you develop greater synchronicity as well. You see things happening that you don't need to struggle. Your life will flow more smoothly. It's incredible, because, and I was reading a few stuff these past few weeks. Everything is within us. We hold the universe inside of us. Everything that we are looking on the outside is within us. So the way to get to higher level of consciousness is not by looking outside at the media, is not looking at the newspapers, but focusing on you. Even if the chaos is going on around you, keep focusing on you, because as you heal, as you raise your frequency, people will feel it, and the world will change as well, because as people see you changing, they will want to change. They will step forward to do their own job, into their own healing, into their own growth. And I have seen that in my life. When I started to do the work, my sister started to do the work too. I was so surprised, and I'm so glad she's doing it. And then my mom got interested. She watched her own stuff and she sent me. I say, that's so interesting. Yeah, and it's beautiful to see that, because when we transform, the world transforms as well. You know, like Dr. Wayne Dyer say, there has a very beautiful quote that he used to say something about. I can't remember the exact quote. It's something about when you change the way you think, the things that you look at as well changes. Yes, something like that, he says. Yeah, but it's so so true. So change your thinking, change how you feel, and change your behaviors, because we need to make all these changes. It's all start with our thinking. If we think positive, we will feel good. And when we feel good, we will do great things for ourselves. And that's when the changes happen in our life. And then when people will see that, they will ask. The people you will attract will be different people, will be people who vibrate at your frequency, who are more happy people. And you will find that the toxic people will fade away in the background, or the friends that don't resonate will go. It's okay. We are always growing, we are always evolving. So it's our journey. So people will come and go. It's like driving your bus. You are the driver of your bus, and you can decide who you take as passengers. And if some of those passengers want to drop off and stop at different stops, let them, because this is your journey. You keep going, you follow your heart, and you see the magic happening.
Yeah, I love that. And I just had a similar conversation like that with someone not too long ago. That's what I told people. I'm like, if you protect your space and you know who you are, then the toxic goes away and you attract what I call your tribe or your people, like-minded people. But you have so many different modalities. How do you know which ones to use? How do you integrate them all? Or is there one in particular that you go to? Or is it just a kind of a combination? How do you figure that out?
Yes, thank you, Laura. That's a great question. It depends on the clients, but most of the time, my main modality that I help the clients with is the hypnotherapy. So the hypnotherapy, it's first I will have a pre-interview meeting, a discovery call with the clients, and talk to them and see what their issues, because some might want tarot reading. So we'll do a tarot reading. Some might want astrology. They are not ready to go diving into that hypnotherapy and look back at their childhood. Not everybody is ready for that, because it's a very deep session where we get to go to different scene of the past. You are in a deep relaxation, you go into the scene of the past, and the client become the detective. They look at the scenes, and then they extract those negative beliefs, and then I help them to get the understanding. And then together I use neuro linguistic programming in that, where we start to use some positive words to let go of these negative patterns and create some new patterns of thinking to help them to move forward. And I give them an audio. So this is the main therapy that I use, and which is very powerful. And alongside with that, after the session, after 30 days, I will meet the client and I give them a compassion session, just to see if there's any other feelings, any other emotions they've been experiencing. But most of them, 1 or 2 sessions of hypnotherapy is good, but it really depends on the issues. And the compassion session, it helps to really bring back the compassion. We bring back the compassion to those wounded parts of ourselves as a little child, and help those parts, because those different parts have experienced different things and not having been able to always express themselves. So really go again, work with those parts, heal those wounds. Until those wounds are healed, that's when we can attract better things. So that's why it's so important to have compassion as well for ourselves, because we are so hard on ourselves. I've been so hard on myself. I see clients, Laura, in hypnotherapy session. They come all sort of beliefs they make about themselves. It's not always the conditioning of the family that, or the friends that created those traumas, but very often it's their own way of thinking. In the session, they tell me I feel stupid as a child. I feel I am useless. So we do be hard on ourselves as children. So it's about really bringing back that love and compassion for ourselves, and that's when the healing, the transformation happens. Yeah.
So I have a couple of questions for you on that, because one, I know someone else that has done that. How do you, when somebody maybe wants to experience the hypnotherapy, but maybe they're too heady or think too much, but you're not able to get them in that state. Is there a way to help them release that, to get them comfortable so that they can go through that journey?
Yes, what I do always with the clients to help them, because I know everybody is different. Everybody is unique and we react differently, and not everybody is comfortable with hypnosis. Hypnosis is, I explain to them before the session, I always tell them hypnosis is just a relaxation of your nervous system. You are not going to be asleep at any moment. You are just going to be relaxed, closing your eyes and talking to me, and you will be talking during the session. There's nothing to be afraid. You are in control of your body. You are in control of what you say. But what is happening in that hypnosis session, it is accessing your subconscious mind. That is your computer, your hardware that has stored all the information that you don't remember in your conscious state. And that will reveal to you where is it in your life that you have experienced, let's say, the depression. So this will give you the access to go to the root cause of, for example, the depression or the fear of flying. And once they understand that, I think they feel more comfortable. But more to make them feel even more safe, I give them a pre-session audio, which is a 5 minute audio of what it's like to be in hypnosis. So they can listen to it. I say listen to it for a week. And so many people have listened to it and told me, oh, I sleep better now since I've been listening to it. I say, that's great. Keep listening. And when they come in the session, they are so relaxed because we have to make them relax and feel safe, so that they can open up during the session, so that they feel they are being heard, they are being listened, and they are being protected in that session. And when they come in that session, they have no problem to let go, to open up, to share. But I think preparing them before the session is crucial for the success of the session. And they feel like they tell me that, oh my God, I didn't know so many things about me. It's like they tell me that I haven't expressed my emotion for so many years, and they are able to cry, to let go, to release. And it's beautiful to see. I think the client as well, they have to choose somebody they feel safe. I think it's very important. They have to find a therapist they feel safe, because if the if you don't feel safe at the beginning, you don't resonate with the therapist, there's no point going into the therapy. You have to feel safe, that you can open up, and that will help you to connect with yourself. And having somebody that understands you, the compassion from the practitioner is very important. And having that's I in a way I am glad that I experienced all these issues in my life because now I understand people. Laura, I didn't understand people when I was young. I never could feel people pain. But now when I started to feel my own emotions, I can feel the pain of people. And that that is amazing for me to feel my emotions, because in that way I understand what my clients are going through.
Wow.
And that's when the breakthrough happens. It's like we meet each other halfway. Hypnotherapy, every healing session, the healer doesn't, it's not only one way traffic, it's a two-way where the therapist and the client meet halfway together and do the work. I am not healing anybody, I can tell you. I help the client by using different techniques to heal themselves, because I was reading recently and I said that is so true. It's like the therapist will help you to trigger those emotions inside of you, and that's what helps in the healing, because those emotions have been dormant in the body, but the therapist triggers that in a very gentle way, in a safe way, and that brings healing in the person. When the person has to be ready as well to let go, to release, because the more we release, the more we let go, that's when the healing happens. The more we hold on, the more resistance there is, the more difficult it is to let go of the pain of the heat, and that will keep you stuck. So yeah, that's what I would say.
So, what would you say are the most misconceptions of hypnotherapy?
The misconception is, one of them is I can't be hypnotized. That's the biggest one. People have so much control, but when you look more deeply, we can't control the weather, we can't control what the news will be like. So I think people have to remember the only thing we can control is how we react to things. And there is nothing to fear in hypnotherapy. It's not a stage hypnotherapy where you lose control, where the hypnotist pull you down or up. No, here you have total control. You can wake up at any time if you need to in the session, and it's a very safe environment. And the other misconceptions that people have is hypnosis is like somebody is controlling my mind. No, if you look at who is controlling your mind, it's the media is controlling your mind. Your TikTok is controlling your mind. It's changing the pattern. But here, you are accessing hypnosis. Is you have access to your own memories. It's your Akashic records. You hold your Akashic records. So hypnosis helps you to understand, to access those Akashic records and to heal yourself. So there is nothing wrong. It's in a way positive because you are doing the work. Nobody is controlling your mind, but the media is controlling your mind. So be careful of that. Be careful of the newspaper. These are even AI, even our mobile phone. All these are controlling us. So hypnosis is nothing to fear. It's just the most. It is the oldest healing method. Even in the Egyptian civilization, it was traced that they use hypnosis as a healing practice, as a healing modality. So it's one of the oldest modality. And even in the Bible, Jesus said, be renewed by the power of your mind. So
Yeah.
Jesus as well used all these modalities. If people don't know, he has gone through so much healing throughout his life when he disappeared at certain times and then he came back. So he was very powerful in telling people, you can work on your mind, you can change the way you think. But we as individuals, we take things differently, we interpret things differently. So, but his teachings are super powerful if we really understand the deep meaning of what he was saying. Yeah, very, very powerful.
So, really, everything you do helps people to invest in themselves. So, how do you approach the concept of self investment in personal growth?
That's a great question, Laura, because the book chapter that I wrote with Dr. John Gray in the book called Love and Coaching, my chapter is called "The Best Investment You Will Ever Make," and I would tell people investing is in yourself. It's a winner because I have invested massively, I will tell you, massively in courses, so many modalities. I didn't think of healing people at the beginning. I studied it to heal myself, to understand myself, why I'm here, what are my issues, how can I become a better person each day. And every investment, Laura, that I made, whether it's attending, doing certification courses, attending seminars, watching, paying online courses, everything has helped me to go to understand the greater truth of who I am, where I come from, and what is my purpose, has helped me to heal myself. It's like, I would say that investment is greater than the investment that studied for my all my academic life. I tell you, and I'm still investing in myself because this is the greatest joy I found. Personal development is like, it's like as you go deeper, there's so much more to learn. Academic is like, oh my God, it's boring. You learn this book and that's it. But personal development, there's, as you grow, you find more doors opening, more knowledge. Oh my God, it's like an infinite wealth of knowledge. And it's helping us to understand life, to understand our why we are here, where are we going, what is it that we need to do in this lifetime. But what I've learned from this, I can tell you, from this life journey, for me, the greatest thing that I've learned reading all those books, going into myself, has helped me to understand, to love myself more so that I can love others, to have compassion for myself, and to forgive others and forgive myself. And I think, and also I learned that it's through relationships that we heal. We can't heal alone. Even the therapist is a relationship that we have with, it's even our teacher, our family, our their partners, every relationship is that's the way that we heal. We can't sit on a mountain and heal. It won't happen. Because our relationships are mirrors of each other. They will mirror to us, they will trigger our deep wounds, and that's why we have to heal ourselves, because then we can reduce these triggers. But if people haven't been doing any healing, so, and every partner, every person that you meet will help you to trigger something within you that can help you to look within and heal. So, in a way, the relationships in our life are super important, whether it's a 1 month relationship or it's a long term relationship. That's where the greatest healing happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many, like you said, modalities out there. So there's so many different perspectives. So yeah, like you, I would encourage people to, keep trying and find what works and what fits for you. And we're always learning. I think we're always going to be learning because there's always more out there to learn. It's almost impossible, I think, to just, take it all in, but there's always something that will resonate with you, I think, and that will work well for you. But investing in yourself, I would say, is very key and something we all need to do.
I agree. I definitely agree, Laura. Yes.
Yeah. So with your coaching, I love that whole Mars Venus coach, Coach Ronnie. How did that come about? And do you work just mostly with women? Do you work with with couples, or are you just strictly women?
I work with both, Laura. I had mostly single people, I mean, individual who came, but we also do couple sessions as well. Yes. And how it works, I some people are ready to do coaching. Not everybody is ready,
Mhm.
because coaching, it's about looking forward. It's about finding clarity in your life and then finding somebody, a coach who is accountable and help you to achieve your goals. Not everybody is ready. So if people haven't done the inner work of healing their wounds, it will be difficult to look forward. So spend time on healing those traumas, healing the triggers, the patterns, the any issues that come. And once you've cleared a few, some of the layers, then you can start to do some coaching, whichever coach. And Mars Venus coaching, it's about understanding how men and women think differently, how the way their brain is wired differently as well, And it's because I was doing a workshop and I was explaining to individuals how women, we have connecting tissues that connect our left to our right side of the brain. We have a lot of connective tissues, and that's why we as women, we tend to do several things at a time. We can listen to a client on some mobile and do so many things, but the gentlemen, they don't have that much connected tissues, so they can think only of one thing. If they are working, if they are focusing on something, the other side of the brain will shut off. They can't deal with the other things happening. And so that's why, and in a way, it's good because they can go thoroughly into something and in depth. That's why we complement each other. That's what Mars Venus is about, understanding how each other's brain work and understanding how each other operate, how we behave. And when we understand that, it creates less stress, it creates greater harmony in the relationship and in our lives. So it's about very, very important to understand as well how men and women cope with things differently. Very, very important. So everybody, please read Dr. John Gray books. It's amazing, and that would help you a lot to have great relationship with yourself, because he talks about filling our love tanks, filling our different tanks first before we start to pour in, give into others. So read his book. It's wonderful, whether you are man, women, whatever gender. It will help you a lot to understand yourself and understand others. Yeah, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And coaching, that's what we help the clients to achieve clarity, to hold them accountable, and to make sure that they set goals that they can achieve, but to hold their hand along the way. It's very
Yeah.
important. important to be there for the client. Yeah. So usually I do hypnotherapy, and then I do a bit of compassion session, and then finish with some coaching, because it's like it goes really well together, and you need to heal the past in order to move forward.
And that's wonderful too, so because you actually just kind of guide them through the whole process.
Yes.
So, Dr. Rani, we have about 4 minutes left. What would you like to leave the audience with today?
What I would like to tell the audience: believe in yourself. You are the most important person in the world, and also talk to yourself positively, because life and death is in the power of the tongue. So think good things for yourself and say good things to yourself every day. That would build your self-esteem, build your confidence. And if you are able to do that, building your confidence and self-esteem, everything is achievable. Everything is possible, because you are the treasure you have been seeking. Everything is within you. You have the power. You have immense potential within you. So make yourself a priority. Focus on you, heal yourself, love yourself. You are the most important person in the world. And I want to tell all of you that you are amazing, you have always been, and you always will be amazing. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rani. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as she said, as a best thing you can do is invest in yourself.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laura, and keep shining. You're doing the great work. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. And everybody, we will see you all next week.